My best data is it's a non-event. It's a non-event now, and it's going to be a non-event in the future. So
All right, well, gentlemen, if we want to finish up, I do think it would be a good idea for everybody to show off a little bit of their favorite bit of data for this particular target. So when you think back at your session of Polkadot, like what are you most proud of? So, and we can start with Edward. I think
Calling
I know what
target.
he's
I
gonna
think
say.
calling target and naming it exactly, he would be a little proud of that.
yeah.
Just a little.
And when we start the debrief saying, I hope it's Polkadot, we should have got that on tape, but he
I know.
did say.
It was in
Okay.
the interim. We paused.
While I did a little bit of research because I'm not a big Polkadot expert, but I did go through with a couple of things here to try to figure out what was going on, and I did find some pretty key points here, like the fact that it felt so robotic, like I wasn't picking up on any humans. So on this search here, robotics and Polkadot, and there was really this phrase here: we have robots as employees. I thought that was pretty interesting. And then there's another part in here too. The robotics and the Web threes and all that. Was that the part that I wanted? I think so. And there's another one in here. I found quite a bit of stuff actually. Oh well, there was something else in there. I think it was related to something with Internet of Things. But then I found this messaging thing because this kept coming in. This idea of messages or messaging and assigning and that and all that. And Polkadot has what's called a cross consensus messaging system. Never heard of that. I thought that was kind of cool. This was kind of interesting here. I looked it up with the AI and they got some AI. Because I was looking at some of these words here, like I was getting all these strange words. So I found this web page here and I'm like, oh, knowledge. Knowledge is there. Oh, scalable. Oh yeah, that's scalable right there. And I think there was another one in there too. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then I was looking at machine intelligence here, which is a term that I don't think I've ever used. But it turns out that this project here launched a project on Polkadot to create a market of machine intelligence. Didn't know, never heard of it. Like I say, I'm not too big on. I don't know too much about Polkadot, but pretty cool stuff. To be honest with you, I don't. I've never researched Polkadot. I've never owned any Polkadot. I know of them. I know they're like maybe a top 20, top 15 project. They're a very big project. I honestly don't know much about them other than what you just said in your debrief. I'm just not too educated on the project.
Oh, well, that's even cooler that, you were able to, hey, this is Polkadot, right out the bat. So very nicely done. Awesome job, Edward.
I don't follow that project or anything like that. Don't really know that much about it. Not really into the swap type chains I'm not really into that kind of stuff, but it's a big player.
Yeah, that it is. I thought your session was interesting. Like I said, it was kind of curious some of those data points. So I'm gonna spend some time on that with the analysis. Yeah, maybe it might be Binance related, but all in all, I thought the data was really good. So, all right. Yeah, overall, I thought it was a very interesting session, Derek. I'm kind of curious. Do you think that your data is more kind of related specifically to the target, or it kind of seemed like a lot of it was encapsulating maybe just future trends in that industry? Especially I thought was really interesting the power consumption element of it and having to kind of make that kick over to nuclear. So I was wondering what you thought.
Yeah, no, I hadn't really thought too much into it. I mean, I'm just recording the data and turning it in and moving on. So that's a good point. If I had to pick something out as like my favorite part of this was seeing the CEO or the leader on stage in front of the audience in a Steve Jobs style setting, making like this cutting edge, I'm going to change the world announcement and hyping everybody up. So I feel like it's something they're working on that nobody knows about at this point. So they have this known platform or set of things, because it's not just its own platform, but they have their own token, at least one token. There might be several, and they're involved in a lot of different things. One of the founders is credited for inventing several of the key staple pieces of technology used in cryptos. So pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you drew that spider web image, and that does kind of, when you made that comment, it kind of like, oh, that branches out into all of these different areas. So I think, yeah, it was definitely an interesting session. So, nice job. Made me feel sad for the crypto, like it needs a hug. It's huddled in a corner having a really bad day.
Looking at the charts though, because I just had a quick look at the charts, it did have its good time way back a couple of years ago, so that makes sense with it feeling a bit battered down, because it is going horizontal. So yeah, I don't own any of it. I've never been interested in it, and now that I've seen the charts and I've seen the RV, I never will be interested in it.
I like that. You're very decisive. Like, nope, not gonna. Yeah, and that was, I think, the overall theme of your session was just meh. Like a non-event, nothing excited about. Move on, because this isn't really going to do anything super significant.
No.
Into your data.
And the charts, for me, the charts reflect that it's not done anything in years. So yeah, it's a dog with fleas. But I don't see this is going anywhere fast, other than down.
Other than down. It's the primary boring direction of down. So
yeah.
All right. It's always interesting because you guys sometimes you're all on the same page, and sometimes there's just sort of very diverse opinions on the technology and the trajectory for these. So I find that really interesting.
Maybe our personal kind of beliefs have a play in it as well. This just is nothing I would ever be interested in whatsoever. So yeah.
Yep. And your data corresponds.
It certainly does. Yeah,
it does. Nyiam, what would you like to show off from your session?
Let's see, this part here, looking at the tech, I kind of had these parallel branching off, branching out structure here, and looking at Polkadot, they use something called parachains. So I thought that was interesting. They're kind of like not real blockchains that they somehow use in their structure to make transactions happen. So I thought that was interesting.
Okay, I'm going to be Mr. Negative. My best data is it's a non-event. It's a non-event now, and it's going to be a non-event in the future. 2 years ago, was it $7? It's now 2 years later, it's $7. It's going nowhere.
How about you, Dick? What would you like to show off?
Well, sometimes when I do these targets, like the blockchain itself, or what it does, is such a conceptual nebulous thing that I always find, okay, the founder is a real person. Like, okay, look for the founder and see the founder. So I was able to do that this time. There's Gavin Wood. I drew a pretty good likeness of him. Saw him. So Gavin Wood, that's my best moment, I think. Plus, I described the function of the blockchain pretty well.
Yeah, I thought you captured the tech really nicely.
Be careful in about a year from now, because I saw the bottom fall out.